General Manager Jibet Boria, and show us how we interact with our guests through our key social media platforms. A lot of time for questions and answers every topic, so you may take down notes and raise your virtual hand to raise a question, or you can drop your questions in our chat box. And to guide us through our upskilling session today, we would like to remind everyone of our honor code: to act with honesty and integrity, to adhere to academic honesty, to always respect others, and to fairly use our resources. So not only will our participants be able to learn and master the art of hospitality, but we'll also have a chance to win exciting prizes. So later, we do have a fun and exciting exercise for you guys, and we'll provide with a post-assessment. So once you complete the post-assessment, you'll be eligible for some raffle prizes. More than that later. So sit back, listen and engage, and master the art of hospitality. To jumpstart our upskilling session and to introduce what IHG Academy Skills Builder is, let me introduce to you one of our passionate and multi-talented co-leads, and someone who I had the pleasure to closely work with in talent acquisition. Let me give the virtual floor to Jasher. Josh, take us away.
Thank you, Jules. Can you guys hear me well? Thank you for the claps. Guys, pasend naman ako ng heart me's dyan. And likes. Thank you. Okay, so today I do have the pleasure of introducing to you something very precious to us, and something that I know you guys will take advantage of. So I'd like to introduce IHG Skills Builder. This is a free online platform, learning platform that we will be providing for you. Can we go to the next slide, please? Providing for you for free, that you can take advantage of. So what is IHG Skills Builder, and what does it have in store for you guys? Can we go to the next slide? Kurtz, sorry, there. So again, later on I'll be sharing a QR code where you can get access to the site. But all you need to do is to register, and you'll have access to 250 learning items all across 5 courses. Now, the courses that we have are Hospitality Fundamentals, Communication, Adaptability, Future Skills, and Self-Care. And the good thing is, if you guys, register and complete all the courses, you do get badges for all these. And if you do want to apply to any IHG properties worldwide, including here in the Philippines, of course, this is going to be a plus if they see on your resume, or if you tell your hiring manager that you have completed courses from IHG Skills Builder. So what are you waiting for, guys? Later on, please screenshot or save or take note of the QR code, or simply type IHG Skills Builder in your websites, of course, and register and take the online courses. Again, this is a free course offered for our university partners, and of course for you guys attending today. So simply just scan the QR code or type IHG Skills Builder in your websites. So again, looking forward to seeing you be part of IHG, and looking forward to seeing you learn new things with IHG as well. Back to you, Jules.
Thanks, Josh, for introducing IHG Skills Builder. So it's such a win-win situation today. Our participants get free learning upskill session, and will also get free access to our IHG Skills Builder to jumpstart their career in hospitality. Isn't that great? Okay, so let's go to our next part of our session. We are heading to our first topic. So to introduce our next speaker, General Manager Jibet has been with IHG for more than a decade. She started in food and beverage and worked her way up to overseeing and managing the operations for Holiday Inn Manila Galleria and Crowne Plaza Manila Galleria. With her newest role as General Manager for Holiday Inn Cebu, she has breadth of experience on the art of hospitality. She will gladly share with us today these experiences, and we are so lucky to be with her here today. So let's give a round of virtual applause for GM Jibet. GM Beth, good morning to you.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So, first, I would like to thank the team for inviting me to be part of this webinar and for me to be able to share my story and my experiences in working in IHG. Once again, thank you so much for the organizer of this hype activity. IHG. Once again, thank you so much for the organizer of this.
Yeah, so nice.
Hello, hello everyone. Okay, so I would like to start with the session. So I have shared the materials.
Okay. There you go. Thanks, Kurt. Go ahead, GM. Okay. There you go. So Kurt's looking for still seeing black screen. How's the weather in Cebu, GM?
Yeah, it's a bit warm here at the moment, but yeah, it's been like this for the past few days. But last week was a bit rainy here. It's actually I've been with I'm in Cebu now for about a month, so I just joined the property as a general manager last September too. So we'll be having my first month anniversary in 2 days time. Okay, so I would like to start with the presentation by sharing to all of you my career progression in IHG. Okay, so if you can see, this is the positions that I have. When I started my career in the hotel industry, I've really moved up from the ranks up to the position now that I'm having as a general manager. So for my career journey, I have a total of 30 years hotel experience. I started working in the hotel industry at the age of 19, so you can now do the math. Okay. So I've been part of the management committee member in IHG for 13 years. And as mentioned earlier, I've been with IHG for a total of 16 years. And in that 16 years, as mentioned, I've been part of the management committee for 13 years, 6 years as a head of the department. But in total, I have been an assistant department head for a total of 3 years, 3 years as a supervisor. I have worked also in different departments such as front office, food and beverage, and I've also worked in sales and marketing. And of course, my recent roles are actually with the executive office. I have done a pre-opening hotel. I have been, of course, I was a part of an operating hotel during the pandemic. So part of the pre and post, we have pre-post and pandemic experience, and work in an operating hotel, as mentioned earlier, during the pandemic. And I have also years of experience in renovating the hotel. So that's actually the Crown Plaza and the Holiday Inn Manila Galleria. Okay, so for the next slide. So I just want to share to everybody the different stages that I have in my career for the past 30 years. So I have presented here 5 stages. So this is the exploration, the growing, the performing, mentoring, and reinventing. So this is actually my the experiences that I have for my total of 30 years in the industry. And this actually all happened in the different position that I have that I was given for this 30 years. No? So when we talk about exploration, I just really want to talk quickly about my career journey, because I just really want to inspire all the attendees for this webinar. No? So when we talk about the exploration, this was actually my discovery stage. So when you talk about discovery stage, this is the stage wherein you're still trying to find your passion in which department you would like to join, or probably questioning also whether are you in the right department and you would want to try different things in the hotel operations. So having said that, I think it's all about being open and trying different things and discovering your passion. And once you have discovered your passion, you will move now to the next stage of growing. So when we talk about growing, in my own personal experience, this is about embracing also performance improvement plan. So this is actually working with your superior in helping you to discover also the things that you need to improve in your performance and also the strength that you need to leverage on. I've mentioned here, be a mentee. So look for a mentor that can guide you and show you the right direction in your career. When I say, I've also mentioned here the development program. So I've been very fortunate enough that in IHG, I was given a chance to go through different development program. So I was part also of the RISE program. So just to talk about RISE, RISE is a development program for female leaders, wherein they give you or they expose you to different trainings, and they assign you a mentor, and through this program, it will help you also move to the next career path that you want in the hospitality industry. So when I started doing the RISE program, I was a food and beverage manager, and it really helped me move to the next stage of my career of becoming a director of food and beverage for the Crown Plaza Manila and Holiday Inn Manila Galleria. And other programs that they have that was that I was able to experience in IHG is the Career Insight Potential #2 program. I went into or attended also an IHG Business School. And of course, the last program that I have experienced is actually the Journey to GM program. So it's really very important for us to expose ourselves or to be open to go through the different development programs in the company. So when you talk about performing, this is about challenging yourself. So it's not being contented of what you are doing at the moment, but actually giving stretch target to yourself. Try to win awards. Try to have a winning culture in the department and make yourself an expert in your field. And of course, when you do when you move out, after doing the performing stage, that's when you feel already that you are ready to mentor and develop future leaders in your department. When you also develop leaders, look into also developing leaders from other departments. So I think it's a win-win situation when you're able to mentor leaders from other departments, because it's a two-way process. You're able to impart to them knowledge, and at the same time, you're also able to learn from them. And then also create a safe space for your team where they can be able to share their experiences, their difficulties. So one of the things that I have done in my career is to set up the Lean In Circle in Crown Plaza and Holiday Inn, and we were able to expand this also and invite other members from the other hotels in the IHG Philippine cluster for the hotel division. So the next stage for me is reinventing. So when you talk about reinventing, this is actually doing things outside your comfort zone. When you've already reached that point in your career that you think that you want to grow and do something different, so that's when you actually try to do things that is actually outside your comfort zone. In the reinvention stage also, it's also very important for you to be able to communicate your plans and aspiration to your superior, because they're the only one, or they're actually the one who can actually support your growth in the organization. And and also part of the reinventing also is the self-awareness that it's time to move. So I have been with Crown Plaza and Holiday Inn for a total of 16 years, and I've been comfortable in that hotel. And though it's really difficult to manage two properties, two different brands, but it became a comfort zone to me, and I reached that stage already that what's next for me, and there was already a self-awareness that I wanted to move on. And that's when, of course, I tried to enter into the Journey to GM program, and of course, after completing that the program, I was also given this opportunity now to move to the Holiday Inn Cebu City. So that's basically is my career journey in IHG, and I hope you've all learned from this one. But my goal basically is to impart how my career growth in IHG, and that hopefully you've all learned something from this story that I have. Okay, and now for our next discussion. Okay, so this is about if there's a recipe for success, it starts with picking the right ingredients. So in my career, I have surrounded myself with people that will have a positive impact in my career. So it's always about choosing the right group and learning from them. It's also about having a growth mindset. When we talk about growth mindset, you're only good as your last performance. So when you have that kind of mindset, you will always aim to do better the next day. So be curious. Okay, when you say be curious, ask questions if there's something that is not clear to you. If there's something that is interesting, ask questions, and do not be afraid, to do this and try to learn from your colleagues. Be bold and try something different. I've mentioned that in one of the stages of my career growth in IHG. We need to see also failure as an opportunity to grow. So sometimes, in my 30 years of experience in working, if you will ask me if I've failed, and my answer that definitely is many times, multiple times. There are heartbreaks, heartaches, and of course, it's always about bouncing back and seeing it as an opportunity for you to grow. Have a mentor and a sponsor. So I think for this, I want to talk about a little bit of sponsors. A sponsor is actually your, if in the organization you're holding a manager position, then get your director, get a member of the management committee to be your sponsor. But again, it's just like your mentor. This person will guide you and support you in your career growth. And then, of course, communicate your aspirations. So based on my experience also, when I started communicating my aspiration and my dreams, that's the time when my general manager then supported me, because all along they thought that I've been very, very happy being a director of F&B for 7 years in Crown Plaza, and they thought that was just what I wanted to do. But somebody also from the management team opened my eyes that there is something also, there's still more that I can do for the organization. Yes, I was so happy with the food and beverage department. It is a very fine department. There's a lot of things that is happening. But then when my eyes were opened that there are still growth for me, that's when I started communicating it to my general manager then, and that's when opportunities were open to me, and they have put me into different development programs that helped me actually move my career. And after being a director of food and beverage and doing all those development programs, I was able to move to the executive assistant manager role in Crown Plaza and Holiday Inn. Okay, so those were the the recipes for my success in my 16 years in IHG. So I'd like to move now and discuss a day in the life of a hotelier. But before I move on to this topic, I just want to ask also all the attendees in today's webinar about your plans, no, in your career. If you'll be given an opportunity to work in the hotel industry, which department do you think would fit you, or would you prefer to have that first job or first experience in the hospitality industry? So you can type in your answers in the chat box. So I think they've posted here the question, so I'll repeat again the question. Based on your interest and career goals, which department do you believe would be the best fit for you within a hotel when you start your career? So we have now here 6 responses. First, do we have the answers or the responses from the group?
So we see
Which department is the favorite?
and we have like
F&B? Front office?
we have 2 answers saying F&B. We have 2 from housekeeping.
Okay, wow.
Office department. Oh, that was 5 before, but I think that changed. We have from culinary department, kitchen department, also marketing and finance. We have answers for those departments. Okay, the answers
So
keep
more
coming
responses
in.
are coming in, yeah.
Yes.
So, okay, please continue to answer, and you would like to see later on which will be the most favorite department that you would like to be part of. Okay, so for the next topic, I have put here a day in the life of a hotelier. Okay, but before I go into the details of each department, so I have put here some words that I think is actually very, very important when we are actually in the operations department. So as I've always mentioned to everyone who always ask me, hotel operation is actually very complex. It's actually composed of many interlocking pieces and dependencies. So it's also about understanding that we actually coexist, and that and as mentioned, we depend actually to the other departments. So it's not just one department working, and or we cannot also be working in silos. Otherwise, this will not help us to be successful in the operations. No, we need to work for the success of the team. So when it comes to preparedness and readiness, what I meant here is it's about thinking ahead. So it's about gathering information that is needed for the operation. It's about probing and asking the right questions. It's also about using the available tools in the hotel for us to be successful in executing the service. It's also about using the available tools in the hotel. So we have systems, we have platforms. We all have it for a reason. So we need to be able to use this properly to ensure the success of the operations and ensuring that we deliver a great service to our guests. Preparedness and readiness to me is also about doing coordination meetings. It's about attending group resume meetings. So group resume meeting is actually an activity wherein the sales and marketing team will have to discuss the details of a group that is coming in the hotel. So when we do all of these things, it helps us to be ready for an arrival of a group. So there's actually a saying that by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. So I think that should be our number one requirement now when we do our when we go to work. We always have to be ready for the operation. By making sure that we prepare and we read in advance the reports, and making sure that but when we arrive at the hotel, we already know what's going to happen for the day. So teamwork and collaboration, it's about understanding that we coexist, and it's about our interdependencies, that front office department needs to work closely with housekeeping department. Same goes with the food and beverage service. We need to be able to work closely with the kitchen department. And at the same time, for housekeeping, you need to have that understanding also that you need to collaborate and work closely with the engineering department. And when it comes also to teamwork and collaboration, there will be times that there will be different opinions on how we would want to run the operation. But at the end of the day, having different views is actually healthy, because it allows us to have a discussion on what's going to be best for our guests. And at the end of the day, it's all about compromising. It's all about agreeing to a solution, and that solution should be putting our guests at the center of what we do or what we decide for that particular scenario. It's not about we decide to do this because it's easy for housekeeping or it's going to be easy for front office. So this is where department heads or the leaders in each department will have to say that, okay, we need to weigh things, what's going to be best for this scenario. Then let's agree to go for that decision that would benefit our guests more. And when we talk about intentional, to me, intentional on purpose and with purpose. So operations run smoothly when the right product, process, and people are delivered in a way that brings brand to life. So that's why I'm always saying that this is actually my favorite, being intentional in everything that we do in the hotel, because we will always have to link that to our what the brand represents. So if we say that we are a hotel that caters to the needs of our business guests, of course, everything that we need to do in the hotel also should be very intentional and would also will provide for the needs of our guests. So when you claim that you're a business hotel, you have to make sure that when you go inside the room, you have all the available. First, number one, you need to have a very good Wi-Fi. You need to have in your table or in your desk, you need to be able to have different outlets for the needs of your customer, because they need to use the outlets for their laptop, they need to charge their cell phones and everything. So that's what I meant by being intentional. We need to be able to have a clear understanding of what our brand represents, and everything that we do is actually intentional for the target market that we want to get for the property or for the hotel. Okay, so I'll move on now to the next slide. Okay, so I have presented here different departments. Now we have the front office, housekeeping, laundry, food and beverage. I've combined the service and the culinary and the engineering. So these are actually the departments under the operation team. We still have other operations like security, which I'll mention some of the activities that they do on a daily basis. But if you can see here, it's pretty much the same what is needed for each department. Everybody should be attending or should have an operations meeting. They should be doing their shift briefing. So when it comes to the report, you need to always go back to the shift report. So I mean, we are a 24/7 operating. Our operations is 24/7. So you need to be able to see also or read what happened in each shift, and then also look into the handover report. So if you're from the PM shift, you need to be able to look into the handover of the AM shift, and vice versa. Going to the graveyard shift, you need to be able to see also the report coming from the graveyard shift. Trace report is also very important. It's like your to-do list. So we create that for each of the department. If there's something that you need housekeeping to do, you put it in the Opera, and that's when they're able to print the trace report. They will have to ensure that this is completed within the shift as well. So we also have here the guest arrival report. It's also very common in each of the department. VIP arrival report, the history and forecast report. So the history and forecast report is actually the report that gives you an overview of what's going to happen in the next coming days and what have transpired. So this actually will give you an idea of the arrivals, the occupancy, the average rate for the day and for the whole month. And then complaint log is also there, and the tools. There's a bit of a difference actually for some department, but it's pretty much the same. For front office, we use Concerto, Medallia, and Opera. And then for the housekeeping, it's the same. So Medallia, just to explain a little bit, is actually the platform that we are using where we can see the comments of our guests, the feedback on their experiences in the different stages of their stay in the hotel. So they will normally put their reviews. That's where we're going to be seeing all the reviews, their experiences in each of the section, from the arrival experience, when they reach to the room. So for rooms, it's actually divided into, the guest room experience is actually divided into 3 sections. You have there the bathroom experience, you have there the Wi-Fi, you also have the cleanliness. So that's actually the areas being measured for the room side. When you go also to the front office, the guest would give you rating for the arrival experience, the check-in experience, the departure experience. And for food and beverage, breakfast, dinner, and room dining is also being rated. And it's not just for the guest. The Medallia is not just a platform for our IHG members, or IHG One Rewards member, but it's also a platform where we can see also the different reviews from all other OTAs. So that's it's also a platform where we are able to respond to our guests, provide them also a bit of an explanation if they're not happy with their stay in the hotel and they have raised some issues. That's what we're using also to respond to them and provide them an explanation, and at times also extend some service recovery. And Medallia also is composed of different reports where you can actually extract and analyze and use it for you to have a better understanding on if there are trends that is happening in the hotel. Because sometimes you would notice that how come the reviews that we're getting, there's an increase on the low rated scores in terms of the Wi-Fi or in terms of television. So we use that for us to have a better understanding on how we can provide a better experience for our guests, and for certain issues also not to happen again. So it's actually a very, very powerful platform for us to be able to understand the issues in the issues in the hotel, and for us also to provide some action plans to ensure that we address the issues that are recurring. We also have, for housekeeping, I would like to mention also there the task sheet. So this is something that is quite different from the other departments. So the task sheet is usually the report given to a room attendant, where you are given the list of the rooms that you need to check. So normally, when we do this, when we do the task sheet, we base it also on the room quota that is provided for each of the room attendant. Average, depends on the size of the room, but now we're doing around 14 rooms to 16 rooms per room attendant. So this is actually a combination of a checkout room and a makeup room. So that's how we also, those are the information that is being provided in the task sheet. So this is actually the list of the rooms that each of the room attendant will have to clean for the day. DND report is also very important. DND is actually the do not disturb. So we need to be able to have the list of the rooms that are put into do not disturb, because if it exceeded the 24 hours DND status, we need to do something about it by calling already the guests and checking if everything is okay. So we don't let the DND status exceed 24 hours. So this is actually the first thing that we normally check when the room attendants are actually in the rooms. We also do the breakage and loss form for housekeeping. So when they clean a room, if there's an item that has been missing, or if there's an item that has been broken, so they need to do that breakage and loss form. For food and beverage, table management is one of the unique tools that we have for food and beverage. So this basically gives you the information on the reservations for the day and for the next coming days, so that you can already start blocking tables for them. This is also where we key in all the information of our guests, the contact details, their telephone numbers, and once we have all those information, we use that also as part of the database of the hotel. Because you want to be able to have a database so that you can go back to them and tell them that we have these promotions in the hotel and that we are doing this special offer. So that's what we use. So apart from the Opera, which is highly being used in the front desk. So for F&B, we have the table management where we store all the information about our guests. For engineering, I have mentioned here the SCAP. It's also a type of a platform where we are able to key in the defects in each of the rooms. So let's say, for example, housekeeping have gone to a room and they've noticed a defective sink or a water closet. So they have to put that into that SCAP so that it goes to the engineering and they can do the rectification. So again, this tool is really very important, not just for the engineering team to be able to complete all the defects, repair all the defects, but it's also for us to understand if there is a trend that is happening in a particular floor or in a particular room series. Because sometimes, and several times, I have experienced that we have issues on water pressure. And then when we review the report, that's when we see that how come all the complaints in the water pressure or all the requests for repair for water pressure is happening in the sixth floor, let's say for example. So that's when you get those kind of information that you are able to like step back and try to talk to the team, put together the team and try to understand. So what's happening here? How come there is a trend now of increasing issues for water pressure in a particular floor? So yeah, those are the different things that we have for each of the department. But if you can see, everybody will have to do almost the same routine every day. And it's really very important that there is this kind of routine that is happening for each of the department, and that everybody is also looking into the same report. The guest arrival report is not a report that front office should only be enjoying, but this is also a report that housekeeping needs to see, because you need to be able to assess also if you have VIP arrivals or if you have guests with special requests, if you want to have rooms that are actually near the elevator. Same goes also for engineering. You want to know if that particular guest have issues in the past or during their last day that they've complained, let's say for example, about internet. So you would want to make sure that you'll give them a room that will not have an issue with the internet, because that would not be really good for the hotel when a particular guest has been going back to your hotel and experiencing the same issues all over again. So those are the tools that we are using in each of the department for us to be able to deliver great guest experience. Okay, for the next slide. Yes, so I would like to talk about the importance of guest satisfaction. So why is it important? So we usually have we have this in the hotel where we always say that GSI, or guest satisfaction index, equals to RGI, which is the revenue growth index. So we all know that if the guest is happy, they will definitely go back to your hotel. So guest satisfaction is equals revenue. We all know that nowadays a lot of our guests, when they make a booking, the first thing that they would do is to look at the reviews. So they would always choose a hotel with the highest review. Of course, they have, different travelers, they have different needs. So, but I can say that a lot of our customers now would like to check first the reviews that we have in each of the platforms. So, if they're booking through a specific OTA, they would want to see what is your ranking in that particular area. So that's one of the reasons why guest satisfaction is important. No, so guest satisfaction also drives loyalty. So we also know that loyalty, for a loyal customer, they tend to pay more, they stay more, and they say more. So that's why it's very important for us to have satisfied guests, because it builds loyalty. And of course, when we have more loyal guests, they will have to come back, and they will always come back to your property and stay more, and actually spend more. So we have done several reviews that when you have loyal customer, they will always spend more when they're actually in your hotel. So guest satisfaction, or great guest satisfaction scores, also drives the reputation of the brand. So that's one of the reasons also why it's important. So, and also guest satisfaction creates a motivated team. Who doesn't want to work in a hotel with high guest satisfaction index? Of course, we all want to be part of a team that continues to win. You want to be part of an organization with a great reputation. So I believe that guest satisfaction creates a motivated team. the team motivates, the team actually drives guest satisfaction, but when they see that the guest satisfaction the guest satisfaction of our guests is high, all the more that our team members becomes inspired and they want to do more for our customers. So how do we keep track of guest satisfaction? So these are some of the things that we usually do in the hotel. No? So to me, it's all about listening to the voice of our guests. It's about reading and responding to guest reviews. Okay, so if you will ask me how often do I review or check into the Medalla and how often do I read the reviews of our guests, actually I have a routine that first thing in the morning that I would do is actually read all the guest reviews. And at the end, before I go to sleep, or before I, end my day, I would go back again to the Medalla and guess all the reviews. And I also respond to their, I also respond to every single reviews of our guests. And when we respond to guest reviews, I always make it a point that you don't only respond to the guests that are complaining, but you also respond to the guests that are happy. Sorry. Okay. So you also respond to the guests that are actually saying good things about your hotel, and then of course, apart from responding to guest reviews, we also make sure that we do courtesy calls. So we've also set a standard in the hotel that courtesy call has to be done 15 minutes upon the arrival of the guest. So you have to make sure that when they check in the room, you ask them if everything is in order, and you check that if there's anything that they need in the room. So we've also implemented the mid-stay courtesy call. So what is mid-stay courtesy call? So this is actually for guests that are staying in the hotel more than 4 days. Or actually, we've said it that for mid courtesy call will have to be done for guests that are staying from 4 nights to 1 week. And of course, if it's more than 1 week, we have to make sure that we do a courtesy call to them every week. So those are actually for our long-staying guests. So why is mid-stay courtesy call? It is very important. It is very important because that's actually your opportunity to be able to find out if the guests have experienced any problem during their stay. And if you're able to pick up all this information, you will be given the chance to be able to fix it before they leave the hotel. So, back in the day, the focus for the courtesy call is that when they arrive, you check with them, and then we do that. The mid-stay courtesy call was just introduced. Well, at least for my property, was just done this year. When we noticed that our problem handling or our problem resolution scores are actually going down, so, and we had to really we did some deep dive. We did a deep dive. We tried to extract all the reports that we have in the hotel and we tried to understand the issues that they're experiencing, and we've noticed that most of the complaints are being raised during checkout. And then when they're already checking out, we don't have the chance anymore to fix the problem. So, and most of the time, you will only be able to give them a service recovery of like, you want them, when you come back, sir, we will give you an upgrade to the next room category. So if that happens, what if the guest doesn't come back anymore to the hotel? So that's why we've introduced the mid-stay courtesy call. So the mid-stay courtesy call will actually give you that opportunity to be able to fix the issue while they're still in the hotel. So that's one of the adjustments that we have done also in the hotel operation. Another way also to keep track on guest satisfaction is to engage with our guests. So the team are always encouraged to ensure that when they're if they're in the restaurant and if they're in the bar or if you meet them at the lobby, our team members should find opportunities where they can actually, have a quick conversation with the guests and ask them how's their stay in the hotel. So, and this should not just be happening in the front desk. This should also be happening in all the other guest touch points. So, our team members should be encouraged to do this in the front office, or sometimes if you don't have the chance also to have that conversation with the guests, but our team members are actually empowered and encouraged, to leave a note to our guests. Let's say, for example, if you're from housekeeping department and you just did something in the room, so our team members are actually encouraged to give them a message, sir, how is your stay? I'm Lani, your room attendant. During your stay, please let me know or let us know if you have any issues if you have any issues in your room. So we encourage them to do these things. Engagement with the guests is not just having that conversation with them, but if we don't have the opportunity to have that conversation with them, they are definitely encouraged to leave a note. Engineering, likewise, are also empowered to do these things. Like, for example, if they came to the room to fix their toilet and they don't have the guest is not there, we normally would leave a note in the room and would tell them, "Hello, Mr. Reyes, we have fixed your clogged toilet. I am Ryan, and should you need anything from the engineering team, please dial local number 7203. So those are the little things that we actually do to ensure that our guests remains happy and satisfied with the service of the hotels. Okay, one of the things that we also do is to analyze the report. Earlier, I have mentioned about the different platforms that we used in the hotel. One is actually the Medallia report. So we always make sure that we have a session wherein we review the data. We try to analyze what are the trends, what are the scores, what are the triggers for the scores. We always compare it with the past month's performance. We always compare it with the year-to-date performance. We give our team members also targets to achieve. This is actually very powerful that we do this actually, if not on a monthly basis, we always make it a point that each of the department are also doing their deep dive on the performance of their respective teams. What's good now with the platform that we have with the Medallia is that it's now divided into the 3 different reports. So if you want to see the overall, you have there the overall experience of the guest. But then again, there is also a separate report that will give you an overview of the performance of the rooms division. There's also a section there that will give you an overview of the performance of the food and beverage department. And there's also a report there that will give you an overview performance of the housekeeping and in the engineering department. So we make sure that this kind of report is actually being shared to the team, and we give access to everyone. The managers and the supervisors should be able to have they're actually given an access for them to be able to review all the details of the report and all of the issues that the guests are actually experiencing, because sometimes when you spend time also in doing the analysis and doing the deep dive, you create that culture in the hotel that everybody is into that everybody is actually encouraged, or everybody is actually determined, to ensure that they're actually part of the solution in resolving the guest issues. Okay. So when we also analyze the report, we create action plans. So once we've seen there that the issue that are being raised by our customers or by our guests is mostly on guest arrival or mostly on their guest room experience. We work with the team. We create like committees where we will have to come up with solution on how we can improve our guest experiences. If there is a trend on increasing number of rooms having an issue with warm temperature, we make sure also that all the other departments are involved, like engineering, housekeeping, and front office, and we come up with an action plan where we will be scheduling a cleaning of each of the SCU. And this is not just, of course, the reason why everybody has to be involved is because you also need that particular floor or that room to be put on out of service, so that the housekeeping and engineering can work on the repair. So we need to work there as a team, especially if you're seeing some trend already on issues for a particular floor. You need to be able to work with every department to ensure that the solution will be executed and will be done. And that's the reason why we need the front office to be on board in making sure that we make the room available, that room is not to be given to another guest that is checking in, and then we'll make sure that that particular floor will be reserved for 3 days so that the cleaning will have to be done. Okay, so once all of those action plans has been executed, we need to track also the performance. We need to go back after 2 weeks to check whether after cleaning, if there's an improvement on the temperature of the rooms. Are we experiencing the same complaints for those rooms that were marked as a problematic room? So apart from executing the action plan, we need to make sure that you track whether that particular action that you have done is the right solution for the problem that you have encountered. So there's really a lot of tracking and recording involved when it comes to solving issues in the hotel. So we rely so much on the data that is being encoded by each of the department to ensure that we are solving the issues. That's why it's really very important that the team members are actually encouraged to log every single issues that our guest is experiencing, because if the data is not enough, then you will not have the chance also to identify the real issues that we have in the hotel. Each of the department are actually given an access to encode issues, even if it's an issue that was raised. Let's say, for example, for food and beverage is an issue that is for housekeeping. They're encouraged to log that into our we call it actually guest log book, or it's more of it's a tracker actually of all the defects and issues that we are experiencing in the hotel. So we log it there, and everybody is actually encouraged to ensure that once a guest raises an issue or a concern, regardless of the department regardless of your department, or if it's an issue for another department, you own the problem. Meaning to say, you have to ensure that that the issue that has been raised to you will be resolved within 3 hours. If it's like an engineering concern, and it's also very important that you inform or you keep the guests updated of the works that the hotel is actually doing. So we have this 10-minute response time. So if you receive a complaint, you have to make sure that you give the guest an update or a feedback within 10 minutes of the action that the hotel is actually doing. It doesn't have to be a solution, but it has to be an update. Because there are certain problems in the hotel that you really cannot fix within 10 minutes. But it's really very important that when you have that issues or concern, you're able to come back to the guests and tell them that that we are working on it and that we need X number of hours to repair it, and you give them an option whether they want to move to another room or if they can wait for the hotel to fix the issue that they have in the rooms. So another item also that can help us keep track our performance in terms of guest satisfaction is to check our competition set. Each hotel actually have normally would have around 4 to 6 hotels that you consider as your comp set. So of course, and how do you choose your comp set? You choose them based on the similarity of your property. So you normally would pick a hotel that is catering to the same market segment that you have. You probably almost have the same room inventory, or you are from actually the same location. So that's how we normally pick a competition, a hotel that would be part of our competition set. So when we do our monthly reviews and monthly meeting, we always make sure that we go back and check how is the competition doing. Are they doing better than us? Which OTA they're actually stronger or have a better scores than your hotel, or are they doing well, or which hotel actually have more reviews, which hotel actually have a higher scores. We normally see a hotel with actually getting a higher standing when they have more reviews. Even if the scores are normally mixed, but if you have several reviews that is coming in for your property, that normally gives you a better positioning in terms of the ranking. So it's really very important for you to understand also what's happening in your competition set. So yeah, so that's how we basically ensure that we stay ahead of our game by making sure that you also check what's happening in your competition set. So yeah, that's actually are some of the steps that we do in the hotel to keep track with guest satisfaction. When it comes to answering also reviews, we always make sure, as mentioned earlier, that we respond within 72 hours. If we don't respond within 72 hours, it goes to actually we have this alert system in our platform. So we are only given 72 hours to be able to respond to the guest. Otherwise, it will escalate, or it will be marked as a guest alert that has not been answered. So we always make sure that within 72 hours we actually get back to the guest. And when it comes to if the guests actually have raised several issues, it's always important that you give to them your email address and you give to them your contact details so that you can actually have a discussion with them separately and try to resolve it not in the platform where everybody is actually seeing the conversation. So that's what we normally do in the when it comes to handling guest complaint. And I would like to add also that when it comes to guest satisfaction, it's really very important that the problems are actually being resolved when the guests are actually still in the hotel, because that will give you a chance to do service recovery. And a lot of times when we are in that situation that we are given the chance to really fix the issue while the guests are still in the hotel, the percentage of them leaving the hotel happy is actually quite high. And a lot of times I have seen also guests becoming an advocate of your property on how you have managed the problems when they were actually still in the hotel. Okay, so I think this is actually the end of my presentation now. But before I move on to the question and answer, I would like to share a video to everybody. This is actually one of the video that was shared to us in our session for the Hotel Experience Champion. And I have always been sharing this also to my team members. So this is just a 5-minute video, and I hope we'll all learn from this video that I'm going to be sharing to all of you.
I will never forget that cup of coffee. Well, a couple of years ago, I was traveling when my schedule worked out on Christmas Eve. I thought the airport was going to be a zoo, so I got there a couple hours early. It wasn't crowded at all, so for me, that means coffee. So I get down into my Terminal D, and I see the green sign. And when I travel these days, I always wear earbuds, so I'm rocking out to Coldplay. And I see the sign, I get in line, and there's one woman in front of me, and she's having a very animated conversation with the barista. She's kind of waving her arms, and they're both smiling and laughing. So I wasn't in a rush, but out of curiosity, I popped out my earbuds. And sure enough, they're going on about their holidays and their plans and the kids and presents, and she starts to move down the line. So it's my turn to order. And I was greeted with this very warm and sincere welcome. This woman said to me, "Hi, my name's Lily. What's your name?" I said, "I'm Ryan." She said, "Ryan, what can I make for you today?" I said, "Well, I want a grande pumpkin spice latte." She said, "You want whipped cream on that, don't you?" I said, yeah, I want the whipped cream. She said, "I'll tell you what I'm going to do." She said, "I'm going to make it extra hot, load it up with whipped cream, sprinkle a little nutmeg on top. That's how I like it. You're going to love it." I said, "Sounds great." She said, "Where are you going?" I said, "Cleveland." She said, "Are you going back to Cleveland to spend the holiday with your family?" I said, "Yes." Now, at this point, I start looking around for the camera, right? I'm trying to get a latte. As I move down the line, and the conversation continues, and she's funny. She's asking me questions about my family and our holiday traditions. She's laughing, and I'm laughing. And she hands me my drink and says to me, "Ryan, have a safe trip back to Cleveland. Go create some extraordinary memories with your family. When you come back to the Minneapolis airport, I want you to stop here and tell me all about it." As I get my drink, I start walking away, and I stop and I look back at this woman, and I think to myself, it's Christmas Eve. Most people would rather be anywhere else in the world than serving coffee in an airport. Not her. It was like she was meant to be there. And I couldn't help myself. I had to go back. So I did. I walked back and I said, "Excuse me, Lily." She jumps around. "Ryan, is everything okay with the latte?" I said, no. I said, the latte is perfect. I just had to come back and ask you, what is your secret to making such meaningful connections over serving coffee? Well, she corrected me. She's right. I'm not serving coffee. I said, okay, what are you doing? She had thought about this. What she told me was, I'm pouring happiness into people's lives. I said, you're pouring what? Like, what is pouring happiness? And her definition of pouring happiness. She wants to be happy in her life. She wants to be around happy people. She cares about her customers. She wants them to come back. So she chooses, even on Christmas Eve, to smile, to have fun, to help people, to just be happy. Instead of just focusing on how to be successful, focus on how to be helpful. The other thing she understands and masters straight away is the very specific and intentional decision around how she chooses to show up, even on Christmas Eve. You know this. A lot of things happen in work and in our lives that are beyond our sphere of influence or control. She doesn't control the weather in Minneapolis. Trust me, I live there. All she gets to own is how she chooses to respond to those things. Decide how you show up. You know, it's interesting, when I met Lily, and she would have had no way of knowing this, but I was pretty heavy in the heart and had a lot on my mind. And my parents, both retired school teachers, married 45 years. About 3 months before that holiday, I got a call from Mom. We got some really tough medical news about Dad. It was a terminal diagnosis. We knew we probably weren't going to have a lot of time. So I was sitting in that airport on Christmas Eve, not in the best place in the world. I will never forget that cup of coffee. When you decide to show up consistently as the best version of who you are, it gives you your best opportunity to meet people where they are. And you never know when someone needs you to be your best.
Hey, I hope you liked the video. So to me, guest experience is actually beyond service and delivering experiences, but it's about creating emotional connection. And should you decide to work in the hotel industry, decide also to show up. So because working in the hotel is actually not all glamour, but it's about showing up. And when you say showing up, it's also being ready to work during those times when everybody's actually doing their holidays, like during Christmas, during New Year, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day. That's actually when we are all needed in the hotel, and we need to be ready for that kind of environment, and we need to be committed in ensuring that we make our guests happy. So decide to show up if you eventually would want to work in the hotel industry. So I'm ready now for question and answer, in case you have some question that you'd like to ask me.
Thank you, GM. That was a great video. I was trying to fight back my tears. But anyway, yes, we are now opening the floor for question and answers, and I believe we have 2 questions from DNSC Dasma. So MZ, if you can share the questions.
Hello, Beth.
Yes, you can hear MZ. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Mr. Beth. This is Soraya. I'm live from DLSC Dasmariñas. And we have some college students here. We have, what's your name?
I'm Dwayne po.
We have Dwayne who has a question for you. Dwayne.
Is there any difference po ba sa bawat restaurant po? Kunyari po sa Holiday Inn, like, Holiday Inn po, Batangas and Makati, meron po pang pagkakaiba po yung mga restaurants po nila?
The answer there is yes, meron silang pagkakaiba because they all have different themes for their restaurant. They will have different offerings. So like, I'll just mention in Crown Plaza, we have their Seven Corners and Cynthia D. And Cynthia D is actually a Chinese restaurant. Seven Corners is a buffet restaurant. Here in Cebu, we have Sevi. It's an all-day dining restaurant. So when it comes to the differences, it's the difference basically on the concept. But I would say that when it comes to service delivery, may pagkakapare-pareho kami nun because we all will have to go back to our to the brand experience that we want to deliver to our guests. So I hope I was able to answer your question.
Thank you po. Thank you po.
Salamat.
Thank you, Ms. Judith. We have another question here. What's your name? We have a question for Rosa.
Hello, Rosa.
Ayan.
Hello po. Good afternoon po, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am. Ang akin po, ma'am, bilang kayo po ay 30 years plus na po na established na po being general manager, ma'am. Sa amin po mga future graduates and then employees din po someday, ang akin lang po is, what can you advise for us to be more motivated sa mga chosen courses po na we have right now? Yun lang po, ma'am. Thank you po.
Okay, I think the motivation will really have to come from you, no? So you need to know your passion. Ano ba gusto mong gawin? Saan ka ba passionate? So when you discover that, you follow it, follow your heart, and if you say na, okay, I'm interested in being in the culinary department, so sundin mo siya. So, pero ang i-advise ko din sa inyo, pag nandun na kayo sa stage na yon na napili nyo na kung ano yung passion ninyo, be open also to be able to try different things. Kasi yun yung katulad ng binanggit ko kanina in the beginning of my part, no? I think my success sa industriyang ito is that yung nabigyan ako ng opportunity to be able to try different departments. And in the beginning, sometimes sasabihin mo, oh, this is scary, kaya ko ba to? But you will always find the leader na magpupush sa inyo. Kasi I've been with the sales department, kasi I've been in the operations for so many years. No? So, start ako, as mentioned, I started as a service agent. So, kung ano ba yung service agent, so I was a waitress, to be very, very clear about it. I started my career as a waitress in an all-day dining. This is the first hotel na pinagtrabahuan ko. Pero, meron ding leader na nagsabi sa akin na, uy, bakit hindi mo itry mag-front desk? So, and dahil dun sa advice niya, sinubukan ko siya. And I always end up na nai-enjoy ko naman kung ano yung department na kung saan ako nilipat. And ganun din, when I was moved to this, when I made that move to try sales and marketing, there was also another leader who tried to encourage me. So, because itong mga leaders na to, they have the experience and they probably saw something in you sa tingin nila, bakit ka pwede for that particular department. So, magsisimula yan lagi sa sarili nyo. So, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na yung discovery stage. You will have to discover first kung ano yung passion mo. But then eventually, di ba, pag nandun ka na sa doing na your passion, have an open mind to grow and to try a different section. So, pwede rin naman yon. Pero if it's really culinary for you or kung ano man yung passion mo, at doon talaga ang gusto mo, try to grow also from that department by making sure also na ini-explore mo din. If let's say, for example, ang passion mo is pastry, try mo din, paano ba sa hot kitchen? Paano ba sa cold kitchen? So I think that's where you're able to to learn more things dun sa napili mong passion without really going out from that department. So that will also give you, kumbaga, yung skill set mo mai-improve mo kasi hindi ka lang knowledgeable sa pastry, but you also learn something naman sa hot kitchen. And I have several leaders, sa mga hotels na nagtrabaho ako na you will be surprised kung na they started their career in food and beverage, and then ang ending niya ngayon, she's an executive housekeeper. So parang kung isipin mo, di ba napakalayo, nagsimula siya sa food and beverage pero nag-end siya sa housekeeping. So it's actually, yung ginawa ko lang din is actually to open her mind now. Bakit hindi mo siya i-try? And then, of course, when you also encourage a team member na gawin yun, you have to make sure also that you're ready to give the right support to that person. So, I hope I answered your question.
Thank you, Ms. Judith. We have one more question here. Sorry. Pwede pa ba?
Sure, no problem.
So, one more na lang po. We have, what's your name? Maxine.
Hello.
Good afternoon po. So my question po is, what are the strategies used by IHG for guest engagement na nag-result po sa significant improvement in guest satisfaction?
Okay, so a lot. Actually, I would say some of the success stories or actions that we have done for the hotels na saan ako nag-work is actually listening to the voice of our guests. So this can only be done when you are reading the reviews, when you are using the reports or the platform that are given, that what we are using in the hotel to understand ano ba talaga yung mga key issues dun sa hotel. So when you have that understanding ng ano ba yung boses ng mga guests natin, that's when you're able to really come up with some great solutions for those problems. So sometimes little things lang minsan masasurprise ka na gusto ng mga guests ng recognition, di ba? So ang sabi natin, so paano ba natin mai-improve yung recognition na yan? So what we've done is that we've introduced, like, upon check-in, nagbigay kami ng chocolate bar, done in-house sa hotel, using local products, local chocolate lang yon. And then, of course, nirap namin siya sa IHG One Rewards. And then we have their Welcome to Crown Plaza Holiday Inn. So yan. So when we gave it to them, kasi may physical siya, hawak nila So, from then on, nakita namin yung malaking improvement namin dun sa loyalty recognition. Kasi sometimes, pag binati mo lang, at hindi naman sila masyadong nakikinig na sa nag-check-in sa kanila, they would always mark you down. Now, were you greeted upon check-in, sasabihin nila, no. Pero, when we started giving them a physical item, diba, ma'am, we would like to give you this chocolate to recognize your status and as an IHG One Reward member. So that's when we've seen also na nag-improve yung loyalty recognition namin, and then nakita namin na talaga na-sustain namin yung scores namin. So this is just one of those example that I can share when it comes to strategies that we have implemented in the hotel.
Thank you, Mr. Beth. Those are the questions that we have from DLSU Basma. I hope to see you in Cebu.
Yeah, see you.
Thanks, Aya. Thanks, GM. So,
Thank you.
Any other questions? You can raise your virtual hand. Yes, we have one question from Gwyneth.
Good afternoon po. Am I audible?
Good afternoon. Yes. Yes,
Hello
I can
po.
hear you.
I'm
Hello.
Abigail Platero from Laguna State Polytechnic University po. My question po is, since you have dealt with with clients po, how do you handle clients that have language difficulties po? Kasi possible po ang clients natin is not good at English, cannot understand English at all. How do you handle it po?
Okay, that's a very, very good question. And very recently lang, I have that experience here in Cebu. So I guess sa ngayon, marami na ring tools, no, at saka improvement when it comes to language barrier, no. So I'll just share a very recent experience with a guest. So he's a Japanese guest, nag-move siya dito sa Cebu. They stayed with us for about 2 weeks. And ang naging means of communication namin was actually a translator. So we would talk, i-record yung sasabihin niya, sarang sasabihin ko, and then it will translate. So that's when, ganun kami, nakapag-communicate sa kanya. So again, that's what technology brings also to the operations when you have this kind of tools na para mas makapag-communicate ka better dun sa mga guests natin. But in other properties, what they do also, if you have a lot of Japanese guests or Korean guests in your, or depende sa ano mo, depende dun sa volume ng guests na pumunta sa hotel mo when it comes to a certain nationality. They would normally hire a guest experienced champion na who can actually speak in Japanese or in Korean. So that's actually also one way to deal with it. But the most recent experience ko was actually through the phone, translate. Nire-record namin yung sinasabi namin sa isa't isa, and then it's being translated to Japanese. Sa kanya, and then of course, yung sasabihin naman niya sa akin is also translated to English. So that's just one of those many things that we can do actually when it comes to having language barriers.
Thank you po sa pagsagot
Thank you. Salamat.
Thank you for that great question, Brunette. So we still have time for one more question. Anyone else who has a question? Very, very great question. I love the questions. Okay, we have a raise of hand from Maynard Gavia. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Go ahead and raise your question. Oops, I can't hear you, Maynard. Okay, let me see if we have other. Just raise your hand. Maynard, are you trying to speak? We can't hear you, unfortunately. Okay, hello? You can utilize the chat box if your mic is not working. But thank you for raising your hand for your question. Okay, alright, any other questions? Okay, let's see. Okay, we still have Maynard raising his hand. So, well, anyway, please utilize the chat box so we can get back to your question later. But onto that, we thank you, GMG Bank, for that extensive, it's not a sneak peek preview of how hotel operations work, and I feel like you toured us around the hotel. So super grateful for what you have shared with us today.
Thank you so much also for giving me this opportunity, to tell my story and to be able to share my experiences to the future leaders and to the future hoteliers that we have that attended this webinar this afternoon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jen. It was an honor. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Okay, so for the next part of our session today, let me introduce to you our next featured speaker. Her name is Pam. So So Tia Pam has also been with IHG for more than a decade. And she started as a reservation specialist focusing on North America brands and now leads one of the customer care guest relations social media team. A key project role she took on was working with our Singapore office supporting proactive engagement for the EMEA region Facebook pages. So to show us on how it works and how we work in the corporate side of IHG, and with her expertise on service recovery and guest engagement and interactions through social media, we are in for a treat and learn a lot on the art of hospitality. So TM Pam, the virtual floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Jules. I appreciate it. Give me a few seconds while I share my screen.
Sure. How's the weather in Tokyo?
It's raining like crazy, so I hope everyone can hear me well and
Yes.
good. Okay, all right, perfect. Give me a sec. All right, Jules, can you confirm that you're seeing my screen? Yes. All right. Well, good afternoon to all of the participants of this webinar. Very happy to be here. Thank you so much, Hype, for the invite. I'm very excited to share a glimpse of the IHG social media care team operations and how we deliver true hospitality for good to our guests, hotels, owners, and stakeholders. To begin with, social media, or SOCMED, is a team of service recovery experts dedicated to protecting the integrity of IHG hotels and resorts, driving guest retention, and building brand loyalty by actively monitoring social media channels. Our mission statement is to deliver best-in-class guest experience on key social platforms through personalized and prompt interactions. A few of our milestones include the following. So we started our operations in 2012. So this year we're celebrating our 12th year of operations at our IHG Baguio Reservation Center. 2 years after that, our operations went 24/7. In 2015, our department grew bigger by hiring its first Spanish and German representatives. In 2016, we hosted our first social media summit, so we welcomed a few of our stakeholders from our Atlanta office, and that was also the year wherein we opened our doors for cross-training. In 2020, at the onset of the COVID-19 lockdown in March, the department rapidly adapted teleworking, leveraged seamless switch on working from home, and maintaining 24/7 work. All right, so these are a few of the platforms that we actually monitor. So we have Facebook, we have Twitter or X right now, Instagram, TikTok, IHG branded websites, and of course, TripAdvisor. So when I introduce to you my team, sharing a few photos that we have. Okay, we like to have a lot of fun and actually celebrate momentous occasions such as team buildings, anniversaries, Christmas parties, outreach programs, and office activities. And of course, we want to give due recognition to our top performing specialists through our Phenom Awards. Hey, now on to scaling up, which is primarily the purpose of this webinar. I'm also here to share a few tips on how to respond to social media feedback efficiently. So we do have the 3 guiding concepts. First, we need to have a proper opening or closing salutation. Next, we want to be able to reframe the guest issue. And then finally, be able to deliver empathetic acknowledgement. So we will tackle each one of them accordingly. So first, we move to the concept of opening and closing salutation. So here are 5 examples that are almost always appropriate. So we have hi, hello, dear, greetings, good morning, afternoon, or evening, bearing in mind to always address the first name of the guest. So like in this example, hi Juan, hello Nadine, dear Paul, greetings John, good morning, afternoon, or evening, Mark. Okay, now on to the closing salutations portion. So we have the following examples. So we have best, sincerely, warm regards or regards, yours in hospitality, and then respectfully. This time around, for the closing salutation, we always attach the name of the engaging representative and the designated position. In the hotel's case, like what GM Jibet talked about earlier, they can put their names, like for example, general manager as the signature. But for us, it's always constant that it is case manager on our end. And then, of course, the first name of the guest, as an example, you can see on the screen, it's Juan de la Cruz, and then case manager. All right, so that's pretty straightforward for the opening and closing salutation. Next, we go to the concept of reframing the guest issue. So this is a concept that acknowledges the guest's situation and provides a resolution to their issue, keeping them in a positive mindset and preventing negative interactions. Okay, so a few tips that I have for everyone. First, we want to start by acknowledging the situation the guest faced. Number 2, we want to focus on what we can to do to help the guest. And then finally, we want to provide options to the guests if they are displaying resistance or hesitancy to the resolution provided. Okay, in our world, 2 of the most common issues that we addressed, or the complaints that we always take on behalf of our hotels, are billing and service quality concerns. So examples of reframing statements on billing issues go as the following. Number 1, we want to get to the bottom of this as much as you do. Next, it can sound like, we understand the impact this unexpected bill has caused. And then finally, I understand the impact of this difficult situation you are in, and I am here to help. On the flip side, for service quality issues, so one can mention, I am sorry to learn that the expectations were not met during your stay, and I want you to know that I am the best person to help. And then finally, I want to make it right for you. Okay. Now for the last concept, we talk about empathetic acknowledgement. Okay. So guests may mention past experiences or even current ones as a reason for their contact. Empathetic acknowledgement is a behavior that acknowledges what the guest has stated to us while leveraging empathy. Okay, so few examples. So the guests can go through our channels and talk about the following. So this is my 4th contact about this issue. Every time I stay at this hotel, there is a problem. My family member is sick. This hotel never charges me correctly every time I stay with them. I am getting married. My son is graduating from college. So you can see the examples here. The guest's baggage is not always negative. There are also momentous occasions on their side. Like, for example, getting married and son graduating from college. Okay, so a couple of tips that I have for everyone. To display empathetic acknowledgement, we should take a moment to acknowledge what the guest has mentioned. We need to remember to lower customer effort by paying attention to the guests, so we do not need them to repeat key information. And then finally, we need to leverage transition statements. Okay, so here are a few examples. I understand how you feel, and I am here to help sort things out. I am sorry you're going through, and then you just want to be able to paraphrase the summary of the situation. That sounds exciting, and then that sounds difficult. All right, so now that we have discussed the three guiding concepts, let us put into fruition what we have just learned by practicing. So what you're looking at on your screen is an example of an IHG branded review. I'm going to read through it first, give context, and then we're going to dissect them, basically. Okay? So the title of the review says, Comfortable Bed, Good Amenities, but Some Cons. It is written by the guest who goes by the social name handle Domi from Los Angeles, California. Okay, so overall, a good experience, but the area immediately around the hotel isn't the best and does not really feel safe to walk around. Lobby design is very dated, and there was no AC and a horrible smell in the elevators. Other than those things, the food and coffee was good, and renovated areas were very nice and sleek. I would be very interested in seeing this hotel in a few years, assuming it is still being renovated. If you pay attention to the right portion, you can infer from the review that the staff, room and comfort, cleanliness, breakfast, and able to relax portion were all rated highly by the guest, and then value was also given 3 stars. Okay, now on to basically addressing the review the guest mentioned. So here's how I would go about it. All right, so we start off with the opening salutation, like what we discussed earlier. Okay, so I begin my opening salutation by stating hi and then addressing the name of the guest through his social handle, which is Domi. And then when we move on to the closing salutation, I just place my name here and always as case manager. And then from IHG Hotels and Resort Service. All right, so we've tackled the first one already. And then we move on to the body, basically. Body of the review, the answer to the review, I mean. Okay, so I begin by thanking the guest for posting them a review of their experience. And then what you can see here are my reframing statements and my empathetic acknowledgement. So you can recall the guest mentioned actually that they liked the food, and then the rooms were rated highly. So I placed that here as part of my reframing statement, and then transitioned over to the apology statement, which is the empathetic acknowledgement. Okay, and then finally, I ended with my call to action. Basically, what am I going to do with the feedback that he or she mentioned? So for this particular example, we have shared your comments with our hotel team as a reference for improvement. All right, so that's basically it for me. I am going to stop sharing my screen and pass it over to Jules once more. Maybe we have some questions.
Thank you, Tia and Pam, for showing us how your team responds to interact with our guests. That's very interesting. It's a very critical piece of work that we do in IHG Hotels and Resorts. And again, thank you. Thank you for showing us. All right. So we are now opening the floor to question and answers. So how do we go? Any questions from the participants for today? You can raise your virtual hand so we can unmute you, and then you can raise your question, or you can utilize the Q&A function that you see in this MS Teams chat, or those on site, you guys can reach out to our facilitators and raise your questions. Do we have any questions from Mindanao State University in Eden? Or from St. Michael's College or Olivares College, Tagaytay, and from Laguna State, and questions again from DLSU Dasma. Okay, we have a raise we had from Brunette. Hi, Brunette. Go ahead and raise your question.
Good afternoon. Am I audible again?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
So, what if a customer complains in front of the front office? How will you able to handle that? Since most customers that have a problem with their tempers cannot just complain online, some just burst out in public. How do you handle that kind of issues, ma'am?
Okay, good question. My team specifically handles the back end of things, basically. So if it's on the floor operations, basically, I might have to give the floor to GM Jigbeth because it might be more practical for her to answer that. But
Yeah.
the top of mind, we just wanna, of course, de-escalate it right there and then, and maybe she should be able to share a bit more. Go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, I have plenty of experience with that. And I think the first important thing also is that if you can actually invite the guest to an area where you can actually sit down and actually separate from the other guests in the lobby. So like in the particular question or example that was given, if it's a guest who's actually complaining at the front desk, first you have to meet up with the guest and encourage him to sit down and maybe find an area or a corner in the lobby where you can actually have that conversation. So that's the first thing now that we need to do. Don't have that conversation in front of the other guests at the lobby. So isolate, bring the guests in a section where you can have a conversation that is actually that will not be heard by the other guests. Then of course, I think the key naman always there is to listen first. So sometimes guests just would wanna voice out their concern, and first thing always is to listen to their complaint, empathize to them, and then you do the usual just like what was mentioned earlier by Pam, diba? Repeat the concern of the guest. It's pretty much the same approach. You need to show empathy, and then repeat the concern, and then of course you may not have the answer immediately to the problem, but I think it's about informing the guest that you will have to go back to them for the solution that on the problem that you actually have raised. So yes, I hope you answered your question.
Thank you for answering my question. I learned a lot, but thank you.
Thank you, Vinette.
The other hat from our participants today. Okay. Any questions from DLSU Dasma again? Ayan and D, do we have questions from that? Oh, I think Maynard raised his hand. Sorry if I'm using the incorrect pronoun, but can you unmute yourself and be able to raise your question? Maynard, are you there?
Good.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I'm very sorry about earlier. So this question is actually for Miss Gloria. Would I be still able to connect with her?
So, go ahead.
Yes, I'm still here.
Hi, Miss Gloria. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, so we all know that skills is a crucial part to people who aspire of working on the industry. And I love that you've emphasized the growth mindset as a crucial role for success. Would you mind sharing us a checklist or specific actions or habits that embody this mindset, especially within the context of the hospitality industry? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that question. So, okay, for for the growth mindset that I have mentioned also earlier, it's about self-awareness to me, no? That, okay, this is what I am doing now, and what's next? What do I want to achieve? What do I want to do next? So I think yun yung key for that one. So I mean, as mentioned din, di ba, hotel operation is very complex. So the opportunities is also endless. And I have given examples also wherein you can be in one department now and then tomorrow you'll probably be in a different department. So that's exactly what happened to my career, no? So I've been to food and beverage, then moved to front office, then went to sales and marketing, then went back to food and beverage. So to me, it's about the passion also and your aspirations. So what do you really want to do? What do you really want to achieve in your career, diba? So it will have to start from there. And then also with self-awareness natin, no? Can I still do more, or do I want to do something different? So is what I'm doing right now enough? So if the answer there is that you still want to learn more, I think yun yung ano natin, first step natin. Then seek help, get a mentor, surround yourself with people who can actually help you with your career. So you really don't have naman to enroll, diba? Sometimes, of course, I mean, it would also help if you would read books and also attend some trainings. Pero if you have experts na within the organization, use those resources and ask help from them if you'll be interested to learn something different from your colleagues in the hotel. So that's it for my answer.
Thank you so much, Ms. Gloria. That was an valuable explanation of your thoughts. It would be incredibly helpful for anyone looking to cultivate a growth mindset in the hospitality industry. It was truly inspiring. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maynard, for your question. Okay, I think we have just a space out. We still have time for one more question, Benny? Or if not, you can just type in your questions in the chat box so we can get back to it maybe at a later time. Or you can raise your hand. Okay. All right. So, okay, we have one more question from Charles Glenn Gallardo.
Good afternoon. I am Charles Glenn Gallardo. As women, hospitality industry is a fast-paced environment. How do you separate stress from work and stress in home on a daily basis and still commit 100% yourself to the job?
Thank you, Charles. CM Pam or Jim Jabeth, anyone of you can take up the question. How about you, CM Pam?
The question was, how do you separate the stress? Can you repeat that one more time? I'm sorry.
How do you separate stress from work and stress from home?
Okay. For me, I keep to a timeline. If I'm on work mode, basically, I focus on the things that needs to be delivered on a daily grind. So I put all the thoughts that I'm feeling aside, not to bother my daily grind or my daily routine. And then I deal with that separately when I'm alone, mostly actually clinging on to my faith to the Lord. And then I speak to Him all the time. And then, of course, that's when I find calm and peace afterwards. So that's it for me.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sam Pam. Thank you, Charles, for raising that question. And thank you again to the featured speakers for today. Thank you for giving us your time to share your expertise and your experience with your lines of business. And we're so happy that you're here with us today. So let us now move forward to the next part of our session. We are now on the most exciting part of our upskill session. This time, our participants will learn and engage with each other by breakout rooms for a limited time, 10 minutes to be exact, and to see how we have absorbed the discussion for today. An assessment will be provided by our facilitators, so you will be able to get your certificate. And a post-survey assessment will also be provided, which will make you eligible for our IHG merchandise raffle. So specific instructions will be given in each breakout group. We encourage everyone to maximize this opportunity to master hotel operations customer care. So once the time is up, you will all automatically be brought back in this main room. So in a few seconds, you will be joined by your groupmates for this special exercise. So just please stay on the line as we bring you out to your breakout rooms. Just a minute while we wait for our breakout rooms. So thank you all for your participation, and just one last for our session today. I hope you guys enjoy and have fun. Okay, and if we were not able to bring you out automatically to the breakout rooms, we're going to send you your individual links. Okay. So I hope everyone's being brought out to the breakout rooms. We have our Teams Master. Teams Master. Okay, so we're waiting for everyone. Okay, so we have 10 seconds. So see you guys in a few minutes. We'll welcome you back here in the main room after the exercise. So participants in this session in the main room, I hope you guys have your individual breakout rooms. if all the participants here are still online. Are you guys still on the line? Yes, and you were never brought out to the breakout rooms, correct? Okay. Alright. Okay, good candidate. Okay, so we would just like to invite everyone to answer this form. I'll drop it in the chat box. Okay. Can't use a chat. Hold on. If you'd like to check out, oh, I can drop the link. Sorry. Hold on. Just a minute. We'll figure this out. Right. Anyone who would like to share what they any feedback on the previous two topics we have for today? Okay, so if you guys can answer the link that was shared with you, please do so. Alright, so it was posted under the Q&A tab. It's a forms link. If you please can open it and answer the form so you guys can get your certificates for the upskill session today. Okay, let me know if you encounter any issues on accessing the form. You should be able to access it. Can you get a thumbs up if you're able to access the form? Can you see where the link is? You guys are free to unmute yourself. Oh, sorry, you can. Yes, Bianca. Yes, Joanna. Oh, I didn't see your raising hands. Okay, Bianca.
Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, no, I can't access po yung link po.
Okay. So, is there an error message or what does it show you when you click on the link?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hi, yes. Yes, Cassandra. Yes?
Hindi ko namin makita nasan yung link.
Okay. Alright, so it's in the Q&A tab. I can share my screen. Okay, hold on. Let me stop sharing my screen just for a minute. It's not a spoon then share. Okay. So it should be okay. I can't seem to share. It's in the Q&A tab. So if you see a chat icon at the top of the MS Teams, on the right corner is Q&A. You click on that. And when you click on that, the Q&A drop down. The Q&A tab will be shown here, and it has been pinned. You can see it. Okay, let me know if you can access it, Joanna and Cassandra. Are you able to see it?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, let me check with our tech team. Hold on. Okay, alright, so if you guys can, let me share you a QR code. Okay, can you see the QR code? Okay. There. I think first you share your screen, right? Share the QR code. Alright, sorry guys, can you please scan the QR code to access the forms? Let me know if it works.
Direct na po. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Thanks for confirming. Right, so you can scan the QR code and answer the forms. And for those who answer, we'll give you some certificates for today's session. Right, so just a bit of a hiccup with our technology for today. That's normal, it's always a learning experience. Alright, so I believe we have everyone here. All those who were sent out to the breakout rooms are here, correct? I see a raise of hand from Maynard. Yes, Maynard. Okay, so then again, yes.
Would you mind sharing us how would we answer this form?
Okay, so on the first page in the access form, there's an honor code that you see, correct? Correct.
Yes, an honor code.
Okay, and you click on I agree. So, and you go to the next page and you click on next, and once you reach the last page, you click on submit. Did you get that?
There's a scenario here, but how do we answer this? There's no question.
Based on what was shared earlier, specifically by TM Pam with the paraphrasing and the transition that was shown earlier, you can share some phrases on how you would want to respond to this review. Should you be the person servicing that guest, who has serviced that guest, how would you respond to this review? So that's what you will answer in the forms. Right?
So
It doesn't have to be perfect. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so suppose we are the management and the guest gave us a review and we have to answer it, right?
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thanks. Thank you. Okay, so did everyone get, is the form clear for everyone? So, as an alternative question, as a guest relations case manager, how would you address the following scenarios that you would see on the forums? Right, so I'm hoping in the breakout rooms you were able to answer those two case studies that we have prepared for you. And we're hoping that you were able to apply some of the learnings that you've had, that you've listened to earlier from our featured resource speakers. So let's just give it just a few more minutes while everyone is answering. Alright, so we thank you everyone. We're waiting for the responses to come in. So just make sure to submit your responses so we can record. Okay, I see a raise of hands. Are you encountering any issues with the forms? All right. So the question was posted and we're waiting for the responses to come in. And while we were actually over time, so before we close our session, we're actually nearing the end of our session. But before we officially close, let's invite our lovely Director of Global Sales Support Center from IHG Manila office to extend her appreciation and gratitude for everyone here today. So a round of virtual applause for Ms. Mary Flor Kino. Hi, May, over to you. Okay. While we're waiting for MA, the QR code for the form is splashed on your screen. So if you guys haven't submitted your responses, it's okay. Hi, MA. Thank you.
So sorry, my mic was disabled earlier. I couldn't speak. And I thought you were seeing me, so I was trying to make sign languages. I don't see myself now. I don't know why.
You see the background. So.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what's happening, but I'm here. So hopefully everybody can hear me. Apologies, I might have, I might probably be encountering technical issues. But let me just, say a few words if I hope everybody doesn't mind. So I just wanted to thank you, all of you, for being here today. How many students do we have on this call now? Joe, sorry, I didn't see that earlier.
For the maximum participants we have from Facebook and MS Teams earlier, we rounded up around 500.
Wow, that is so amazing and really, really great to see how much interest that this workshop has attracted a lot of our students. I know you guys had a great time hearing from our senior leaders talking about their journeys in the hotel industry. And I'm sure their stories have given us a lot to think about, from the challenges they face to the successes they've achieved. And I hope you all walk away feeling inspired and excited about the possibilities in this industry. A huge shout out to our amazing speakers, Jibeth and Pam. Jibeth and I worked many, many moons ago. And I can attest that she is one of the most hardworking person I've actually worked with. And I'm really, really proud of where she is right now, GM of Holiday Inn. So congratulations, Jibeth. And of course, Pam, thank you for all your contributions. I'm sure a lot of our students here have learned a lot when it comes to customer service. Thank you for sharing your insights, your experiences. We appreciate the time and wisdom. And I'm sure they have learned a lot from your real world examples. I would be amiss if I don't take a moment to thank the incredible team who put this event together, my Hype family, and all the volunteers and everyone who worked behind the scenes. We couldn't have done this without you. You guys are amazing. You rock. We've had a few glitches, but I think overall, with the 500 students that are in this call, I think we've touched so many lives and hopefully bring them a future that they all look forward to. So thank you for making this event happen today. And lastly, to all our students, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time. We hope today gave you some useful tips and motivation as you continue your studies and thinking about your careers. I myself was a product of hotel and restaurant management. Ever since I ended up high school, I really wanted to go into the hotel industry. And just like what Jabetta said earlier, it's really your passion and your dedication that will move you forward. So think about where you want to go, put that as an end goal, and for sure you will reach that goal as long as you have the right attitude and the passion for learning. So the sky's the limit. It is endless possibilities for you. And you will always have Hype to support you in the future if you need us to further give you workshops similar to this. So thank you again. Have a lovely afternoon. And we wish you all the luck in your college studies, and hopefully as the years go by when you enter the hospitality industry. Thanks a lot, Jules. Back to you.
Thanks, Emily. All right. So, and of course, we would like to present our certificate of appreciation for Jabeth Gloria for her exceptional role as a speaker at the IHG and Hype Year Given for Good event. We value her collaboration enhancing Hype Philippines' dedication to giving back to our community through impactful and meaningful learning experiences. Signed by our network lead Arjun, our network sponsor MA, and our network lead Edgiliana Javardo. Thank you, GM Jabeth. Very valuable speaker for today. We really am super great.
Thank you also.
Thanks, GM. And we hope to see you on holiday in Cebu.
Yes, please come and visit.
We surely will. And thank you. And of course, we also would like to present our certificate of appreciation to Pamela Gutierrez for her exceptional role as a speaker at IHG and Hype Year Given for Good event. We value her collaboration in enhancing Hype Philippines' dedication to giving back to our community, her impactful and meaningful learning experiences. Signed by Arjun Resurrection, Maricora Aquino, and Eliana Javardo. Hype Philippines would really like to thank you for your contribution today, Tia and Pam.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. This was so much fun. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tia and Pam. And for that, we have reached the end of our session. Once again, Emily has thanked everyone involved. But again, shout out to Hype Philippines and for our featured speakers, Kurtz for leading this activity, our Hype sponsors, and our volunteers. And of course, our students for making this happen and supporting IHG Hotels and Resorts Journey to Tomorrow during this Given for Good month. Should you choose to start your career in hospitality at IHG and Hotels Resorts, we are here waiting for you to join our family in City Soar High. Just always be reminded from the words of GM Jabeth to be open to explore, open to communicating your aspirations, and surround yourself with people who cultivate the safe and collaborative culture with the right growth mindset. So it was a pleasure being your host for today. My name is Jules, now signing off. See you around. Bye.
you.